Welcome to the series of Blender tutorials. This tutorial is about basic description of the Blender interface in Blender 2.59. This script has been contributed by Bhanu Prakash and edited by Monisha Banerjee. After watching this tutorial, we shall learn the different windows of the Blender interface, the parameters and tabs assigned to each window, how to select an object in the 3D view, and how to move an object in X, Y, and Z directions. I assume that you know how to get started with Blender. If not, then please refer to our earlier tutorials on Getting Blender. This is the 3D panel. By default, there are three objects present in the 3D view: a cube, a lamp, and a camera. The cube is already selected by default. Right-click to select the lamp. Right-click to select the camera. So, to select any object in the 3D view, you must right-click on that object. Right-click to select the cube. These three colored arrows merging at the center of the cube represent the 3D transform manipulator. This manipulator helps to move the object in a particular axis. Red color represents X-axis. Green represents Y-axis. And blue represents Z-axis. Left-click and hold the green handle and move your mouse left to right. For keyboard shortcut, press G and Y. We see that the object moves only in the direction of Y-axis. Similarly, move the object along Z-axis using blue handle. For keyboard shortcut, press G and Z. Now, try moving the object along X-axis. For keyboard shortcut, press G and X. The area enclosed by the red box is the 3D view. Go to the bottom left corner of the 3D view. Left-click View. Here is a list of various view options for the 3D view. Left-click Top. For keyboard shortcut, press numpad 7. The 3D view changes from user perspective to top view. We can see our object from the top view. Left-click Select. Here is a list of various selection options for all objects in the 3D view. Left-click Object. Here is a list of various editing options for the active object. On the left side of the 3D view is the Object Tools panel. This panel lists the various tools used to modify the active object in the 3D view. The tools are grouped in different categories: Transform, Object, Shading, Keyframes, motion paths. Repeat. Grease pencil. For example, let's move the lamp in the 3D view. Right-click to select the lamp. Go to the Object Tools panel. You can see the options for the lamp in the Object Tools panel. Left-click Translate and move your mouse. The lamp moves in the direction of the mouse movement. Right-click on screen or press Escape on your keyboard to cancel Translate. On the right side of the 3D view is another panel hidden by default. Left-click the plus sign at the top right corner of the 3D view to open the hidden panel. For keyboard shortcut, press N. This extra Object Transform panel is similar to the Object panel in the Properties window. We will see the Object panel in detail in subsequent tutorials. For now, let's hide the extra panel and go back to the default 3D view. Move your cursor to the left edge of the extra Object Transform panel. A double-headed arrow appears. Left-click and drag your mouse to the right. The extra Object Transform panel is once again hidden. You can also use the keyboard shortcut N to hide or unhide this panel. To learn more about the 3D view, see the tutorial Types of Windows 3D View. The area enclosed by the red box is the Info panel. It is the topmost panel in our Blender interface. Info panel contains the main menu. Left-click File. This menu contains file options such as creating a new file, opening an existing file, saving the file, user preferences, importing or exporting a file, etc. Left-click Add. Here is the object repository. We can add new objects to the 3D view using this menu. For keyboard shortcut, press Shift and A. Now, let's add a plane to the 3D view. Left-click anywhere on screen to move the 3D cursor. I am choosing this location. Press Shift and A to bring up the Add menu. Mesh. Left-click Plane. A new plane is added to the 3D view at the 3D cursor position. To understand about 3D cursor, please see the tutorial Navigation 3D Cursor. Similarly, you can try adding some more objects to the 3D view. Now, let's go back to the Info panel. Left-click Render to open the Render menu. Render has different render options like Render Image, Render Animation, Show or Hide Render View, etc. Render settings will be covered in detail in later tutorials. To learn more about the Info panel, see the tutorial Types of Windows, File Browser and Info panel. The area under the red box is the Outliner panel. It is present at the top right corner of the Blender interface. Outliner gives a list of all the objects present in the 3D view. To learn more about the outliner, see the tutorial Types of Windows, Outliner. The area inside the red box is the Properties window. This window contains a wide range of panels with a large number of tools and settings. We shall use these panels many times while working in Blender. Properties window is present at the bottom right corner of the Blender interface, below the Outliner window. To learn more about the Properties window, see the tutorials Types of Windows, Properties, Part 1 and 2. This is the timeline. It is located below the 3D view. Here we can see the frame range for animation. This green vertical line tells you the current frame on which you are working. You can move this along the frame range. Left-click and hold the green line. Now move your mouse. Release left-click to confirm frame. Start 1 represents the start frame of our animation range. End 250 represents the end frame of our animation range. These are the playback options for our animation. To learn more about the timeline, see the tutorial Types of Windows, Timeline. So, this is a brief overview of the Blender interface. Apart from all these windows which are present in the Blender workspace by default, there are other windows as well, which can be selected from the menu at any point. A detailed description of all these windows is provided in the subsequent tutorials. Now, try to select each object in the 3D view. Using the 3D transform manipulator, move the cube in X, Y and Z directions. Explore the View tab and, using Translate in the Object Tools panel, move the camera in the 3D view. This tutorial is created by Project OSCAR and supported by the National Mission on Education through ICT. More information on the same is available at the following links: oscar.iitb.ac.in and spoken-tutorial.org/nmeict-intro. The Spoken Tutorial project conducts workshops using spoken tutorials, also gives certificates to those who pass an online test. For more details,
please write us to contact@spoken-tutorial.org.
Thanks for joining us. And this is Monisha from IIT Bombay signing off.